What's up, guys? Got a 2003 YZ250, and today I'll be showing you guys how to rebuild the carburetor. Already got the carburetor kit over here and some other stuff I'm going to put on the carburetor. Here's the kit right here. Here's the part number if you guys are interested. Got some carburetor lines, a new spark plug, and I also got some radiator hoses I'm going to put on it to make it look a little bit better and a little shinier. I'll get back to you guys in a little bit after I get this carburetor off. So I got the carburetor off right now, guys, and I'm fixing to take this float bowl off. Already got all the hoses off of it, as you can see. So let's get started. Be very careful on these screws. What you want to do is you want to press in real hard and then try to unscrew it so you don't strip that screw out. There's one. There's two. Went ahead and sprayed off this carburetor with some brake cleaner just to get all the dirt and stuff off of it before I started taking it apart. Make sure you guys are putting all these screws and stuff inside like a magnet tray or something, or like a little jug or something, a little jar or something. That way you don't lose them, man. Okay, getting ready to take the float bowl off. Gonna put your screw in there, tilt this thing upside down, take your float bowl off, check your gaskets, your mating surfaces, things like that. I'm gonna check this main jet and also the pilot jet on the inside, just to see what kind of, if they're clogged up and what kind of condition they're in. And like I said, just be careful when you're taking this stuff apart, because if this stuff falls on the ground, they're a pain in the ass to find. So be very careful when you take all this stuff apart. And here comes the pilot jet. There's the pilot jet right there. I don't know if you guys could see through that or not, but that pilot jet is a size 45. And from what I can tell, that's bone clean right there. So now I'm going to take this main jet out, and it's going to be a 6mm socket. Let's get this one off real quick. Yeah. Go ahead and look through that one. That one's clean too. Okay, now I'm going to tackle the float and the needle seat. So there's a little pin right here that you got to push out. You kind of need a pick or like something real sharp and small to take it out. And I don't really have nothing, honestly. You can just kind of tap it like that, I guess, and it'll start coming out. Here's your pin, and here's your float with your needle on it. Be careful you don't lose this part either. This little float has a little needle seat on it. Oh, I dropped it. But this little piece right here, you don't want to lose that either. You don't want to lose any of it. Okay, so now I'm going to take some carburetor cleaner or some brake fluid, and I'm just going to squirt through all these passages through here to clean it all out and get all the gunk out. Maybe there might be some old gas or something like that that's stuck in there, gummed up in there, but you just take it and you just spray through all of them. Get the top real good. Just spray the whole thing. Get all that trash out of there. Also through the top, through the bottom, all of it. Okay. And just take a quick gander at it, look through it, blow through it, make sure that everything is clear and there's nothing clogging it up, things like that. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my new carburetor rebuild kit. Got this on eBay. It was actually like 20 something, 30 something bucks. Wasn't that much at all. So I want to take comes with new screws, a new needle pin. I don't need that though. You know what I mean? I just need the gaskets, the needle seat. Let's see. And take my main jet and match it up with the other one, make sure that it's the same size. Nope, they're different. So I'm gonna stick with the jet that I had in it, which is a 168, and the new kit came with a 178, but I'm gonna stick with the old one because it was running cherry and I don't want to have to readjust everything and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna stick the 168 back in it with my 6mm. And you don't have to tighten it real tight, you just got to get it snug because it's brass and it will strip it out if you tighten it real tight. So I'm gonna go to my pilot jet, and this one's a 50 on the new kit, and the other one is a 45. So I'm gonna put the new one back in the bag, and I'm gonna stick with my 45. My elevation is about 5,400 foot, so I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with the pilot jet that I had in it, so I don't mess anything up and have to rejet everything, because that can be a real pain in the neck. You know what I mean? Get this tight. You don't have to tighten it real tight, just snug. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and get my float, which is right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the new seat on it. The new needle seat is gonna go in it. Okay, now just stick it back on there like that. I already got my float adjusted already, so I don't have to mess with that. But make sure you stick your pin back in there. Just be careful so you don't lose nothing, things like that nature. Okay, I got my float in there, got my main jet, my pilot jet, cleaned all my passages. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this old gasket off this carburetor, and I kind of need something like a pick or something. Maybe this screwdriver will help me out today. Yeah, that one's kind of old and crusty up, so you want to clean all that too, get all that crap out of there, get all that dirt and all that stuff out of there, so you get a good nice seal on it. That way your carburetor's not sucking extra air. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it off with some more brake cleaner. Just make sure it's nice and clean before I install that new gasket onto it. Get all that extra gunk out of there. Alright, now I'm going to put the new gasket on. Just be careful with the gasket when you're installing it. Don't force it. Just kind of tap it as you go, like so. And let's see. Oh man. Okay, I got that on. That's being a pain in the butt. Yeah, it's wanting to come out right here, just one spot. I don't know why. Maybe it's. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and install it on the carburetor. Just be very careful what you're doing. Oh, come on. There we go. Just like that. Make sure all your stuff is sealed pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to use all the new screws that it came with for the float ball, because some of these are getting pretty bad and I don't want to have to be messing with old strip screws. There's not much to it, you know, just some new gaskets and stuff like that, new needle seat, and not much to it, guys. Okay, now I'm gonna get this one, clean this off a little bit, make it look a little bit better. This is for your carburetor hoses.
You talking to me?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead and put that back on. What you want to do when you're tightening these bolts is you want to tighten them in a crisscross pattern like you would a tire on a car or something like that. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the other, to this side over here with my new screws. Really needed these new screws, man. Okay, and I got one more on the bottom. Go ahead and tighten that back up. Alright, now tighten it in a crisscross pattern. Not too tight to where you can't get them loose in case you ever have to mess with it again. But just snug to where it won't come loose, I guess. Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and install this back on the bike, and that's all there is to it, guys. Just make sure everything's nice and clean and all your passages don't have no gunk or nothing, no sand, no dirt in there. And that's all there really is to it. Don't lose none of your parts. I'm not gonna install this air screw right here because I got one on the way. It's one of them aftermarket longer extended ones. That way I don't have to use a screwdriver when I'm out riding. I can just turn it with my hand. But that's it, guys, and that's all there is to it. Take it easy.